Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Abegwhosendme. I am your host Titilayo Ekundayo, and if you are an entrepreneur or a friend of an entrepreneur or you are a wannabe entrepreneur, this is the place that you should be. Today we have such an amazing personality in the house. He has been a brother, he has been a mentor, he has been a teacher. And one thing that I really love about Mr. Damilola is that he's not afraid to light other candles. He's not afraid to allow you shine. In fact, he's ready to nurture and grow that gift that is in everybody that he meets, and it's such an honor to know him. For you, the audience that don't know, Mr. Damilola Obidairo is a wonderful person. He has over 13 years combined experience in project management, business development, sales, strategy, customer service, talent development experience. He has worked across many sectors, from oil and gas to telecom to infrastructure projects to developing and building small businesses. It's an honor and a privilege to have you on the podcast today, Mr. Damilola. What does it mean to incubate an idea? So I have this idea of whatever the idea is. You are saying I should incubate the idea. It's a necessary process. But how do I incubate the idea? Do I just keep thinking, oh, I want to do this? Is it just mere thinking about the idea, or is there a different angle to incubating the idea?
All right, that's a great question there.
Okay.
First and foremost, to incubate an idea is to first and foremost take note that you have something, you have an idea.
Okay.
It's first and foremost the consciousness of it, and that is why most ideas that are going to be worked on have to be documented, written. Sometimes we are not even talking about a very extensive PDF document. It could be a note on a kitchen napkin to just say, oh, I can do a kettle that can cook rice and boil water at the same time. That's an idea. Now, ideas come raw, dirty, with a lot of unnecessary and unusable stuff.
Okay.
So it comes with stuff that are unrealistic. It comes with stuff that don't make sense. Now, to incubate is to take that idea and to keep brushing, polishing, looking at it, put a little water, brush it, to sit on it, work on it, carry it in your mind for a while, sometimes even possibly discussing with like minds that can help provide clarity. It will also involve a lot of research, trying to understand, okay, so this idea, what space does it play? Has anybody done anything like this? What is the closest to it?
Okay.
If I'm going to go about it, what will it look like? It's generally the whole thought process about, taking the idea. What will I need to take this idea forward? Is this idea even worth pursuing? Is it worth going forward with? But it all starts with, and I think the most important part of incubating an idea is to even have it written
down.
Yes.
Okay.
To have it documented. And when I say written down, I repeat and I emphasize, so that people do not assume that it means I need to have a computer. Sometimes it's just having a piece of paper, a pencil, a notepad. Sometimes it's on your phone. Sometimes I intentionally send text messages to myself.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
You understand? But as businesses grow, there's now need to now understand how to write concept notes. The beautiful thing about documenting is that in the process of documenting itself, there's more clarity on the idea. There are things you didn't think about. And it's a fact in business. Anybody that has played in the business development space for a while knows that a business plan is actually useless.
Okay.
But the business plan writing process is 20x.
Oh, so it's more about who you become in that process, not about the document.
The document itself is an archive. That person that wrote the document, do you think that the idea is written? The person that birthed that document already is a working document already. Has become that document.
But
it's also good to archive
their business plan. Like, I'm looking for someone that can write business plan. What do you think about that?
Now, you can outsource people to support you in fleshing up your business idea and your business plan.
Okay.
But the idea of totally outsourcing someone else to write your business plan is a fallacy. Is a disaster waiting to happen, because then the truth is that idea was never yours.
It negates the whole essence of even having a business plan.
Exactly. Now, in the idea of having a business plan it's in the process. It's in the thought, because when you write stuff down, there's a way we are more conscious. There are things we say that we can say loosely, but by the time someone asks you to put it in writing and send it to me, it takes you organize your thought better. You're now a little bit conscious about the order in which you're putting it. If you want to tell your younger one, if you want to call your younger one in school and say, how are you today? You're in boarding school, high school and everything. You can have the conversation left, right, center, dance around. But if you have to put it in a letter,
that's true.
To write to,
you
now order your step. You now notice that you write something, you cancel it. No, let me not start there. But if you're saying it, you don't cancel your conversation and say, okay, scratch that. Let me say, scratch that. Even in the order, in the presentation of the way we communicate, writing is one of the highest form of communication that there is. That is why there is general education, and then when we want to measure literacy, is people who can read and can write. It's not people who can talk. Everybody, educated, uneducated, civilized, uncivilized, even dogs can bark at one another and they get the point. But it takes it's a higher level of human experience to be able to take stuff and codify. So in whatever language, in whatever form, whether it's in drawing, whether it's in art, whether it's in writing literary work, whether it's in music, you understand? Putting the sound and with music notes, it's a level of communication that animals cannot attain to, for instance.
That's true.
It's unique for Homo sapiens. Alright, so when you write, the process of writing helps you clarify the process. Then when you write, any other person who is actually reading your business plan that wants to run with you better understands what you're saying, because you have it written
down.
It's less ambiguous. We are not saying people cannot misinterpret what is being written, but it's just less ambiguous. That's why it's always just good to catch the vision but write it on table so that others can see it
and run with
it. Yes. So that process of writing benefits you, the idea owner, by helping you clarify what it is you're saying. But the document itself is not for you anymore, because you and the document, you are one. If they take that document and they tear it, it takes you nothing less. It takes you less than half the time or less than 1/10 the time to create another document. Because it's in you already. That thought process is already clear. You just need to go back to your archives in your mind and draw it out. But that document is more important for the bankers, for the investors, for your partners who are going to work with you. That's what that document is now useful for. So that's what I mean when I say business plans are useless to the entrepreneurs, because at the end of the day, you write that plan. It's the process that is most important to the entrepreneur.
Wow, I must say thank you for that, because business plan has always been business plan, and it is good to know that it's really about the process, not even mainly about the final document, especially for the entrepreneur. So I like this conversation because I think a lot of people who are thinking of going into entrepreneurship would benefit greatly from this conversation. But before we go further, I want to ask that, okay, so we talked about idea being in abundance and all of that. But Mr. Dami, do you think everybody can be an entrepreneur? Do you think, what's your thought on that? Can everybody be an entrepreneur?
I think everybody can be entrepreneurial, but not everybody should be an entrepreneur.
Okay. Emma, explain it. Can you please explain entrepreneurial and entrepreneur?
No, so the entrepreneurship spirit is, an attitude of problem solving. You see a problem around you, and your mind is set to work as to how to solve it, but not necessarily as to how to complain about it. You understand? So it's first an attitude, and that's why I said everybody should have that attitude, and it's one of the reasons why I also join any course that advocates for entrepreneurship to be taught in school, to be taught anywhere, because it gives people that mindset to be able to think even while you are on a job, you can be entrepreneurial. It just means that you are able to take initiative. You're able to identify that there's a challenge. You're able to identify opportunities for the organization. That is the spirit of entrepreneur, but that doesn't necessarily make you a full-fledged entrepreneur. Now, a full-fledged entrepreneur that will go ahead and start everybody should not. Everybody actually cannot.
Okay.
Because not everybody is suited on the basis of the chromosomes in our DNA for the journey of an entrepreneur. Not everybody can handle the ambiguity. Not everybody can handle the shocks, the setbacks, the depression, the lonely moments, the high moments of celebration, followed by
the low moments,
the low moments, followed by the punch, followed by reality, followed by. It's not everybody that is built. Yes, you can train yourself, and that's not the only path to what we all want as individuals. Some will be great at supporting entrepreneurs, and they will do excellently well at that, and they will be successful financially and otherwise. Others will be entrepreneurs. Others will be advocates. Others will be NGO.
Okay.
Others will just be, following their dream, doing what they like, and then an entrepreneur sees them. I just like to sing. And an entrepreneur like Don Jazzy will pick up on me. It does not necessarily make that artist an entrepreneur. Because I just love to do what I'm doing. Just tell me where I could, how I should do it better, and how the market will respond, and I do it, and it hits, and I get a good share, and I'm a millionaire without necessarily saying I'm going to register anything, register a label, register anything anywhere. So I think that rather than everyone being fixated on whether to be an entrepreneur or not, I think everybody should be encouraged to have an entrepreneurial spirit, to be entrepreneurial in their attitude. And if the circumstances around you and your own build and makeup points to the fact that you could make an attempt on entrepreneurship, then why not? Then why not? And it's always encouraged that people try. There's nothing wrong with going for entrepreneurship. And even if you do fail and you go back and pick a job again, nothing is wrong with giving it a shot. And that is even the. There's no shame. That's the entrepreneurship spirit. That's the entrepreneurship spirit.
People will laugh at you and say, Shebi, you say you are doing entrepreneurship. Why are you coming back to that?
No.
I think the shame will not even.
No, there is no shame. I think it's a misconception of entrepreneurship itself that makes some people in the society want to look at it like it's a shameful thing.
Okay.
I think it's a shameful thing that people are ashamed to try in the first place and they are stuck. I think that is what is shameful.
Okay.
I think it is shameful that your heart will nudge you towards something and ask you to even give it a trial.
And you never tried.
And you never tried because you're afraid of being ashamed if you try it and it doesn't work for you and you have to go back. I think that's the real shame. I think that as much as possible, everybody in society should be honored. If I do my 9-to-5 job honestly and I'm contributing to building an organization with honor, I think I should, get kudos for that. If I'm an entrepreneur, I'm building a business, I'm solving problems, I should get kudos for that. So whether I choose the life of adding value to an organization or starting an organization, I think everyone deserves kudos. I think people who should be ashamed in the society are people who are not adding any value to society, who are just freeloaders, who are not starting anything or supporting anyone that is doing anything about eating off society. I think that is where we should address the shame. Too. Well said. And we should be very clear about that.
So, Mr. Dami, the Abegwhosendme moment, just like how we named this podcast, is amazing, at least for me and a couple of the entrepreneurs that I know. And then the question is, does this thing ever even go away? People like you, do you still have those moments? People like, by the time you even finally blow, let's say you become Jeff Bezos or Mike Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, does it ever go away, really? Or is it just village people that just decide to show up one or twice?
All right, I'll keep the answer to that. I'll try to keep it as simple as possible.
Okay, sir.
I do not think the Abegwhosendme moment ever stops in the life and in the journey of an entrepreneur, because the entrepreneurial mindset in itself is constantly and I've noticed it with people that I have also worked with that are very entrepreneurial. I've noticed it with myself as well. There's the constant growth. It's about constantly growing, seeing problems, having additional information, unlocking new levels in the game. That's this entrepreneurship game. You unlock the new game, you're another level, you're playing in that level for where you get more information. That's why most entrepreneurs are readers. Okay, you're reading, you discover that, oh, this is the way I've been doing it. There's even a much better way. There's a much simpler way. There's this conversation I was with someone and he said something that it was just a passing statement and it was so true when I thought of it. He says that any business or any business that looks at, if you look at your very first website, your very first app, your very first, and you are not ashamed of it, you are not an entrepreneur. Yes, because it's that constant iteration, that thirst of something better, something faster, something cleaner, something sharper, something punchier, something that solves a greater problem, larger problem, that keeps us at that level of innovating and iterating. And the truth is that as you innovate and as you iterate, especially because 100% of the time you are not just iterating for yourself, you are iterating to solve a problem that involves other humans. Now, there are a number of things that are not going to be dependent on you, but are going to be dependent on reception.
Okay.
So you can design something and then you take it to the market and they say no. You can design something with partners and they say no. You will meet objections here and there. You will meet roadblocks. Government will tell you no. People talk. The environment will tell you no sometimes. The weather will tell you no. COVID will tell you no.
COVID.
Yes, COVID will tell you a big no, and then you sit down and then you ask yourself, who sent me?
Abeg. I don't know, Michelle go.
I think COVID is one of the classy example. And a true test, and even for me as an individual, and when I sit back and I looked at what happened during COVID, you know, there are some decisions that you take when you look back and like, how brought you to
take those decisions,
thinking that something like this can work. And funny enough, it is in those low times. That's the interest. It is in those Abegwhosendme moments. That is where most of the biggest and the greatest innovations come from. So it's either you get the Abegwhosendme, but you know, we will push, or Abegwhosendme and then you descend in regret and then you lose out. So we never let
the crisis
the
go to
opportunities
waste.
come. The opportunities that come from crisis, that comes from our downtime, we never let them go to waste. Because it is in that period when you look for a loan, you are so clear about this stuff. I just need to pay this rent so that I can stay one more year. Just give me one more year on this stuff. I'm certain it will work. And people tell you no. And then you find innovative ways around just to stay alive. It is in those moments you learn some critical lessons, some valuable lessons. You understand, you know, you are now forced things that you will never put in your mouth to eat. Sometimes you are forced to taste it, and then when you taste it, then you realize that this is honey now. It's not. I thought it was glue. This is honey now. It's sweet. Let's package this. It's in those times that, you know, nature has a way of rewarding those who sit down and gladfully embrace that examination period, you know, and face the heat and come out of it. The nature has a way, and I'm saying this from an experiential point of view, and not just one cycle, two cycles. I've seen it happen in multiple cycles. So that's the interesting thing about it. The Abegwhosendme moment, if it stops, you actually want to check yourself that, am I sure?
That means you're not growing.
Am I sure I'm doing something significant anymore?
Wow, that's a beautiful angle to look at it. So, Mr. Dami, looking at what you said, if I may paraphrase, it's saying that Abegwhosendme moments are the deal breaker moments, are the pivotal moments, which if you handle them well, you become better for it. You go up, and then if you don't handle them well, you know, it's a downward spiral. So the question is, how do we handle this moment well? Because they come, you know, it's almost like that sometimes the low is like you are feeling lower than low, and then you call an entrepreneur friend, and then they are going through that. So what are the pointers that can help one survive those moments, that can help one harness that crisis such that we become better for it?
I think the number one thing that keeps anyone going is the vision. So, you know, it's easy to say vision, and it's a big buzzword.
Exactly.
Okay, so let me practicalize it. The fact that you had an idea, you wrote it down, you wrote what you wanted to be, you have visualized it in your mind, you know the potential that if this thing works, and you are convinced. Now, a lot of people run businesses that they are not convinced about. A lot of people do copycat. That's why a number of businesses fail. I know someone that does pure water and is selling. Okay, how much is a machine for pure water making? I need to start my own. You know, so a lot of people do not see that the entrepreneurial journey is very organic. It's a very organic journey. True entrepreneurs really do not have competitors. They only have worthy rivals. Yes. So the number of people for the business I run, the number of people that do it, they're my friends. They may not see me as friends, but you know, from my own perspective, One of the reasons why my business will continue growing is because they are there, and they also help me get on my feet. So it's not competition from a very negative and dark side, where I have to blow out people's candle to ensure my own candle is up. Okay, but it's on okay, you're doing that, you know that competition when you go with your friend to study at night, and then you are reading, you are exhausted, then you look at your friend and your friend is still up, still burning the candle. You are encouraged that no, I can't give up now, and then you move yours, and then even that your friend that you are looking at also is peeping at you, and like this guy is he's still on, and then that person is going, and then at the end of the day, because you are in the same space, and you're actually you're solving the same problem in the same space, you're writing the same exam. It's not about I want to score a higher score than him. If we both score high, it's beautiful. It's a win-win for everybody. So that's the type of competitions that ideal entrepreneurs have. So it's not really about that dark competition where I need to pull that person down or I need to be higher than that person. No, but the fact that you're doing it and you're successful in it, it's even encouraging to me that okay, nice. So it's a fact to what I have in my heart that I have also visualized that it is possible. It encourages me. If you're doing it and you're getting this, you're accessing this, wow, yes, my dream is valid. It means it can also happen. Okay, so I think I've lost track of the question.
I
remember the question now.
remember the question. So how do you survive those crisis moments?
Yes. So the ship on the dock remains at the dock because the anchor holds to the shore. That big ship, there's a rope from the hull that is tied to a peg, a giant peg hits on the ground. That peg is the vision, that idea that you have written down, that you have visualized in your mind. That is what is holding it. Now, as you go to operate, the winds will blow, the tide will turn, storms will start, it will be bright and sunny at other days. But as long as the anchor is holding, meaning you hold the vision and you are, and nothing has changed that vision, it's still clear to you, you're still sure of the destination. And so to answer, when I answered and I said vision, what I meant to say is that that assurance, that joy that, if I hang in here and this stuff works, you understand, it's beneficial for all. I will make a number of profit.